welcome back. We are here again to discuss Akatar Book 3, A Court of Wings and Ruin, um, Part 2, because we're doing this in three parts, in correlation with the Audible dramatized version, I think they call it a movie in your mind.
Yes. Yes.
Now, again, as always, I'm really enjoying, the added immersiveness of the dramatization.
Mhm.
Specifically, the fact that we get different voice actors per character.
Yes.
So that was a really nice touch. Um, but in this part two, we have Farah and Resand and them going to go see the bone catcher. What's his name?
Bone carver.
The bone carver,
Mhm.
for another time because they need his help pretty much. They were like,
Mhm.
hey, we don't know what's going on over there. He explains that he is, this ancient being who has, brothers and sisters. And if they were to get him some mirror or something like some
Mhm.
artifact, he would assist them in their quest. And they also showed, and I thought this was interesting, when they first get to the carver, he shows Farah a vision of their her would-be child with her in Resand. And
Mhm.
I was like, okay, probably we'll probably be getting one of those, the little kids in the later books, similar to Breaking Dawn. And you've read them, so I know you got the tea, but you're
I
not
don't
gonna
know.
tell. So they decide, okay, we gotta go get this mirror situation so we can get some extra help. They go about doing that. We do get some secrets revealed, as you were alluding to. What's that girl's name? Aslan?
Amrin. Amrin.
Amrin.
Got it.
Amrin is apparently the Dark Phoenix out here. She's got some, like, other being inside. Like, what's up with that? Like, when they revealed that, I was curious as to how, and she even mentioned how if that part of her were to be released, she wouldn't remember any of them. It'll just be like, just whatever beast that's inside of her. So I know you read ahead. So does anything come of that?
You get real interested.
Oh,
Yes.
oh, okay.
Very much.
So for me, right, I'm a little over Resand. I've never really liked him all of that much. Like, he was never really doing it for me like that. Um,
Lord.
and I don't know. It's just something about him just never just is like does it for me. I don't know about you. If is Resand your favorite one?
I cannot say that until we get to book 5, who my favorite one is. Because I
Ooh.
don't want to give away I would be saying too much, but I do have a
Mhm.
favorite. I will say
So
that.
now there's another book that I read before. It was called a blood, not a court. It's like Blood and Ashes or something like that. And in
Ooh.
that book, right, uh, all the gang got a little turn, right? They had a whole like uh a thruple situation going on. And as I said before in previous reviews, I feel that they may be taking that a little bit with Farah and Resent, because there was one point in the book, right, where he was like, "Oh, we're going to bed. Would you like to have a third or something with us?" And
Being
unlike with
facetious.
yeah, no, because unlike with most guys, you would think he would say, "Oh, he's trying to bring another bitch in the room. He's trying to bring it there." He said, "Oh, you wouldn't want two men worshiping you." So he is trying to bring another man in that bedroom with him. One of his boys, Cassian or Azrael or somebody's about to be called in, about to tag in. I swear to God, that's what's about to go down.
Reese is too possessive. Whether he wants to admit it or not, he's not that different from Tamlin.
Uh huh.
He is too possessive for another man to be in there with him. If he's never going to go, I don't ever see
Oh
Reese
no.
going for that. But he want to test her. I feel like he wanted them men that's like, I'm gonna dangle this in front of her, see how she gonna act, or I'm gonna get one of my homeboys and try to talk to her, see if she'll go. You know what I'm saying? Like he's some
Oh,
type of
okay. He
dude.
was just seeing how she would
How you
react.
gonna
I
act? Would
don't
you
know. I
go
feel like
for it?
he would do it if she wanted to do it. Like he's down for whatever she want to do. So if she was like, "Yeah, I'm trying to bring in Tamlin in this bedroom," he would be down. He would bring
No.
him in.
The world would end. He would all that power would be unleashed. He would kill the poor Valaris, that Valaris, it would be leveled to the ground, wouldn't be no people alive.
He'd be into it.
No, he's too territorial for that. I don't see it.
I don't know. I feel like Tamlin would be too terrible. He would say no. If they were to ask, he would be disgusted.
Oh yeah, he would be insulted for sure. Like, how dare you two think I want to join y'all? Like,
Hmm.
I'm the prize.
Hmm.
Heck no.
Yeah, he gives very much I'm the prize. And
Yeah.
later in this part of the book, he actually shows up. And I was like, oh, it's getting spicy now.
Mhm,
Because they
mhm.
are again trying to get these other courts to assist in this war that's coming. They keep talking about the war, the
Right,
war, the war.
right.
So it surprised me that Tamlin was saying how he's, on this their side because given he was working with old dude before.
Right,
Like,
right.
I don't understand why happened with that. But pretty much she was like, oh, when he showed up, it was like a storm cloud. He was calling for all kinds of bitches and hoes.
Yes, yes. You in his bed. How was that in his? Oh, you fucked him too. Like he was being very disrespectful.
Yes, but
Very.
at the same time, I can't even be mad at him like that. He's the victim here. He's the
But
victim.
we in a group with a bunch of high lords, and that's how you feel you gonna carry?
First
Because
of
she
all,
played you in the dark. She ain't play you in everybody else's face.
she played in his face because she was publicly his betrothed. And next thing you know, she all around town with Resan
But who knew?
smashing and everything
It
else.
was whispers. No one could confirm it because, but them high lords could go back to their court like, yeah, he was saying you effing him and you win his. You know what I'm saying? Like people could think what she did, but no one had eyewitness of what her deceit.
Besides the whole court, the night court, when she was on the throne, dry humping Resan, they all saw, and they were all like, "Oh, you're just his little whore." Remember, Resan got mad. That was in the last
But
book.
you know how Kier is. Kier, Moore's father. That they don't. Those people don't even leave the night court. They stay under that rock and just be down there talking trash. Although the walls do whisper, which we know, all the walls be whispering, but
Exactly.
Hamlin didn't have to come because I don't know if I would have been woman enough to handle said attack. I probably would have been like, I probably would have said something back. I know
So
he's
she
hurt, but
probably could have said
don't
like,
try to make it like I'm a hoe.
she is like
No,
she did
she
that man dirty.
right.
She did that man dirty, and the fact he had to bring up like, "Yo, as much as I did for you, and brought your family out of poverty," looked over at Nesta and everything pointedly as he
Yeah.
should, because they
No.
was broke bitches
No.
living in a shack in the woods.
Resan could give him that same money.
But he
Resan is
didn't.
her mate. Resan is
But he
her mate.
didn't.
Resan didn't meet her first. Tamlin met her first.
Either
She
way,
even talked about that. Like, and I think a lot of women do go through this, and that's what's so cool about these books, right? You can see like people in these stories, but it's like sometimes women get with men at a low point, and then
mhm,
after a certain point, when they quote unquote love themselves or have that man, just like women do to men, sometimes has built them back up. Now they're
uh-huh.
ready to go back out into the world, and I think Tamlin got her at a very vulnerable time. That's why it worked. Had he met her when her family wasn't poor,
Mhm.
he probably wouldn't have got the play he got. But money
But
talks.
Tamlin at least deserved an explanation, and he never got one. He
What?
never got one. Even she left on their wedding day,
But
and
she
then
did
months
talk to
later,
him.
she wrote him say, "Hey, I'm fine. Don't come looking for me." That's essentially what the fucking note said. So he never got an explanation as to what was this change of heart, what had happened. He literally got no closure in that situation. So
Lucian knew what was up though. So you don't think Lucian at any point in time told Tamlin why?
no,
Lucian
he
knew.
didn't. They
Oh,
even said it. Not even Alice or Lucia said nothing to that man about it. No, none of them said it. So he has no closure. He's dealing with the fact that his fiance left him for another man, lied about it, and then not only that, going to infiltrate his courts in order to use him for information. Because she stay using this man.
He did
So
use
I'm like,
him. He
yes.
did use him. I'll
So
agree with you that.
he has a right to be upset
How
and
many times
mad
do men
and
do this
bitter.
to women though? How many times do men ghost and women don't get no
That ain't got nothing to do with
closure?
Tamlin. That ain't got nothing to do with
No,
Tamlin.
no,
Okay,
no, no, no,
Tamlin
no,
is in
no.
the
Men,
fairy goddamn court. Okay,
if he didn't want her and he casted her aside, she wouldn't have got no closure.
but he
And it was like
didn't. We
he's
don't
the
know
High
what we
Lord.
don't know what he would have did. We don't know what he would have did.
But what
He,
if he found a girl he liked better? What if he would have met one of her sisters, for instance?
woulda,
And he
coulda,
liked her
shoulda,
better?
woulda, coulda, shoulda. Okay,
Let's
well
not give it
we
Tamlin
know
a
what
pass.
Farrah did. We know what Farrah did, and she was grimy for that, and she
No.
deserves all kind of bitches and hoes from out of his mouth.
No. No,
Yes, she
she did. He
does.
was stifling her. He was smothering her.
She could
He
have vocalized that, but
that's
she
like I
left that
said last
man
time. She used
with
her.
no closure.
That's not right. She used her behaviors, her actions to show you're stifling, you're smothering me. He wasn't hearing her. He only wanted what he wanted.
And
Tamlin
she
was
used her
greedy. This is his
actions
karma.
to infiltrate his courts
And that
and
was
use that
diabolical.
man again.
That was awesome. I ain't gonna hold you now. That's some real, like, I
She's
can't
a
even
user.
believe you pulled that off. You know what I'm saying? Like, you really doubled back and got him again. Shame on him at that point. You should have
No,
never took her back. Now you
shame
knew
on
she ain't want you.
her. We are
No.
not going to downplay her viciousness here. And
He's
poor
a
Tamlin, he is the victim. I'm sorry to say it. I know
no.
it's everyone hate Tamlin, but he's the victim
Yes.
for.
And I get it. She was wrong. But what fool would let a woman back that stood him up on his wedding day?
A
That was
fool who
shame
is in
on him.
love. A
He's
fool
not
who
even
is
in
in
love anymore.
love.
That was just ego. It ain't
A
love. That's
fool who is in
ego. That's
love.
his ego.
What's that? Even fools fall in love, whatever that's however that song go. That man is smitten with her, and he would take her back currently.
Listen.
Still, after calling her all kinds of names, he would take her
Right.
back.
Right. So you would call me all them names and think I would come back?
But guess
That's
what? It's her fault. It's her
no.
fault.
Delusion.
You
Delusion.
really don't think it's her fault?
I don't think it's her fault because Rhysand is her mate. If Rhysand wasn't her mate, and if
Ooh,
it came that Tamlin was, then I'd be like, all right, she grimy.
speaking of, we found out in this part of the book that the mating isn't as strong on the female side as it is the male side.
Mm-hmm.
So the female, the lady, has the option
To
to
choose or refuse.
exactly to refuse the mate. So Farrah had that option to refuse the mate, being a whole woman with a fiance. She could have refused them.
But she always wanted him. She always felt the connection to Rhysand. She ain't feel that with Tamlin. Tamlin got her at her most vulnerable.
She only felt that connection with him because he put that goddamn witch ass ritual tattoo on her to have this connection, to force this connection.
No, that's not at all. It what happened was
He was trying to
that
guarantee she didn't turn down the maiden bond. That's what that is.
no, that's
He was
not it.
plotting.
I think he was trying to give her a chance to get to know him, to see that yes, you do want this. Subconsciously, you do want this. You just don't know it.
Yeah. So he was plotting in advance so she wouldn't turn down the mating bond as a woman with a whole fiance. He was like, let me put this on her so I can influence
her alive too, though. He kept her alive too. What about that? She would have died had it not been for Rhysand under the rock with Amarantha. Let's not forget that Tamlin sat there stupid faced. He just sat there like,
would she have been fine had Rhysand not show his ass up at the Supreme Court and bringing Amarantha's attention to what the fuck going on over there? That's the real thing that went down.
Either way, and guess what? I almost called her Lydia. Don't ask me why. I don't know where Lydia came from, but Farrah went back for Tamlin. She went under the rock to save Tamlin. She did all they even now. I saved your life. We even. All that wife stuff, that's in the past. We eye for an eye. You good.
Wait. Even right? for doing what?
She broke the curse. Whatever she did or didn't do, they even now.
But that was before they got engaged.
She paid her debt early. She paid her debt early, or else he'd still be walking around with that stupid mask on.
Okay, so she paid her debt for him pulling her family out of poverty. Let's say that's the case.
No.
Let's claim that's the case.
She paid him. She saved everyone's lives. It don't matter what she did after that. Because if not, they would still be under the curse.
So she about to pull that over his head every time she do something shitty to him.
Do you
Oh
want a
yeah,
mask on your face?
I cheated on you. Oh, but I did save everyone's life.
Do you
Oh,
want
I
that
treated you
mask
like
on
shit.
your face for the rest of your life? Would you want to walk
That's
around with a mask on for the rest of your life?
he was doing just fine with it. Pulling
Girl,
bitches,
bye.
everything
Looking
else.
stupid. No.
I'm sure
Absolutely
he'd
not.
rather have a mask on his face than deal with the heartbreak he's dealing with currently.
That
I
is
guarantee it.
foolish. Heck no. If I had to walk around with a mask on my face for the rest of my life, or be with the love of my life for the rest of my life with a mask on, I'm going single. I'm not walking around with a mask on.
That man was
Hell.
living just fine with that mask
No,
on,
he wasn't.
still ruling the
Poor
Supreme
Alice,
Court.
them children, everybody walking around with these stupid masks on.
He was doing just fine. They were doing just fine. Clearly, they wanted to be there. Like you said, Alice went through hell to get to the Supreme Court. She wanted to be there with the mask on.
Fair pay her debt early. She said, listen, I don't know what I'm gonna owe you for, but I'm gonna just pay up front. I'm gonna prepay. So when it all hit the fan, remember that without me, there would be no life for any of y'all.
Either way, that bitch did him dirty, and he deserves
Really
closure. She really did.
And guess what? Tamlin paid that money to her family to take her away from them. So really what he did was he paid for a mail order bride. So
not even he could have left them in the shack. They wasn't getting to her regardless. They was in the human world. Couldn't even get there.
Their provider. He took the provider out the home. He had to do something for them people.
No, he didn't. He didn't have to do a goddamn thing because she came there because she killed one of the Fae. So he didn't have to do nothing for her or her family.
He also didn't have to take her back with him. That was against her will. She didn't want to go with Tamlin to the fairyland or whatever they call it.
Yes, but he could have killed her too. So technically, ain't no we even. He could have killed her.
No, he couldn't have, because Amarantha said that the person to break the curse had to be someone who hated fairies and then turned to love fairies. So this was all they even. They don't nobody owe nobody nothing else. They need
if they were even after her rescuing everybody, then they were no longer even by the time she left him at the altar.
Absolutely not. That can't be true. He took her from her home, so he already owed her one. Then she saves everyone.
You getting over the part that she killed his friend.
So what?
That moves it out.
She's a hunter trying to feed her family. She took that fur to feed her family.
He still killed people doing regardless. It's still a murder. It may not be murder.
Animals every day to eat. They kill them for the fur.
It's still murder. She knew. She even admitted that she knew it wasn't a regular wolf.
But she took that fur to feed her family. Give them some, turn that fur into some boots.
So we just gonna call it even for that first part. She killed. She killed his friend. And he kidnapped her.
No, she killed his friend. He paid her family to kidnap her. So again, she's still up one, and then she saved everyone. She up two. If she leave you at the altar, dude, we're even. You're
the money that he paid to her family to pull them out of poverty. So they still even at this point.
No, they're not. They're not. Okay,
we're not talking about this. This is a whole nother debate because if we got to tally up who really up. Because she definitely owed Tamlin more than a little.
No, she don't. She has paid her debt and then some. She lost her life to Amarantha, and they brought her back from the dead. They revived this woman, so she's trying to now grapple with the fact that I'm not.
They revived her, and look, she done stole a little bit of everybody's power. So they even.
A fairy. I was a human, and
they even. She got a little bit of the power too. And so come on now.
And it's too much. It's a lot for her to digest. And you want me to marry you on top of all that when I know now that I'm a fairy who my mate is? Why would I stay with you?
She didn't know. She didn't know at that time. She didn't know when she left him at the altar that was her mate.
No,
and again,
no.
Anyway, we'll discuss this because I still feel like she owed Tamlin, goddammit, at least an explanation. No. And an apology.
Too many men have left women with far less.
He don't gotta pay the sins of every man on earth. This is
well, I can't feel bad for you. It's too many men that have done women way dirtier.
She wants to make him sacrifice for all their sins. He ain't Jesus Christ now. He's Hamlin.
Take it on the sword, bro. Just man up. Like, go find you another. Okay, they made one fair. Go make another fair. Go get you another girl.
Oh, Lord.
You're the high Lord. If you don't go get somebody else, keep looking.
Anyway, child. Anyway, this is when it comes to Farrah, this is why sometimes I can't get down with this book, and it's because and I narrowed it down to what irks me the most with the writing and with Farah. It's because everything is given to Farah, and she doesn't show any signs of growing pains. No signs of growing pains. No uncertainty. No, I'm new to this. It's like she became Faye and suddenly she just hit the ground running, which is unrealistic. When we look back at Manacled, we see that Hermione grappled with some of her decisions. She dealt with a lot of uncertainty of, okay, well, I'm not sure if I'm doing this right. I'm not sure what's going to happen. We don't see none of that with Farrah. She's coming in like a bat out of hell, as if she's lived 1,000 lives and knows everything and everyone. And that's what I don't like about her. What
That is
only
so
thing we saw that she had to
unfair.
learn how to do was fly.
That's so unfair. You have to remember that when you become Fae, your senses who you are becomes heightened. Farah has been a provider. Farah has been a protector. Farah has been in charge of making sure people don't die. So of course, when she became a fairy, all of that is heightened now. Of course, she's more keen and strategizing and learn. You know what I'm saying? Like this is not out of place for her. It's
But
now she has magic sprinkled in with her already innate abilities in which she's learned over the
but
years.
if that's the case, Farah has also been illiterate. Farah has also been dealing with being unwanted and the least desired in her family. Because Farah had also dealt with an inferiority complex when it comes to her sisters, where she doesn't feel as desired
Right?
or as prioritized as her sisters. So
Right.
why does that not show through in her character? It's only, oh, I'm so certain. I know
She has
exactly
a
what to
mate
do.
now. She's desired by the most powerful High Lord. If that don't give you confidence, nothing will. What more you
A man
want?
ain't gonna give you confidence. It comes from inside.
Girl,
It comes from inside. And
girl.
it doesn't ring true to me that she never grappled with any decision. In fact, the only decision that she's grappled with was when she decided to go into Lucian's mind to hear his thoughts about her sister. She was like, "Oh, I'm not sure if I did the right thing." Talking to
Right.
Racine about it,
There.
but that's literally the only the that's it.
What else is she? She's with the most powerful lord of all the high lords. She
Mhm.
has Fey abilities now, heightened awareness of the ability she had before she became Fey. What do you mean? This is all to me. This is all logical. This all makes
This
sense.
is all new to her. How old is she? 19, 20?
It doesn't
And she's
matter.
in
She's
the
been raised.
same circles as men and women who are 500 plus years old.
Her
And
abilities are heightened now. She's been taking care of her family since she was a
so her
little
abilities
girl.
is the audacity. That's her, but she just had the audacity her whole
Girl,
life and she's
bye. I
just
told
there.
you. She been a huntress. She been a provider. She's been having to make sure people eat. She's been having to make sure people are safe since she was a child. Stop it. This girl
Like
has
I said,
she's gone through
unwanted.
her
She's been
challenges.
unwanted, dealing with that. She's
And
dealing with
she's with a high
abandonment
lord.
issues
The
with
high
her
lord.
mother. That whole thing with her, we haven't tackled the issues that she's had with her mother.
That's true. Her mother's
So
dead too. You know, she's dealing with that. Her
all of this
father's dead.
confidence comes from where? That's what I want to know. All of this certainty comes from where? It doesn't ring true to how it would be realistically, how
I don't
someone
I don't
would have to
agree.
tackle these all of these new responsibilities, all of these new powers, all
She's
everything new to
magical.
her.
She's not human. This is a magical being now. She's not human anymore. This is
We
a whole nother
see
layer.
her sisters struggle more with turning into
Her
Fae and
sisters
doing all
never
this.
did nothing all day. Her sisters sat around eating food, staying warm, and picking flowers. Of course they're struggling. They were not in charge of the household.
Well,
They're
they should be struggling, and they are showing that they're struggling.
Because
But
what were they doing as humans? They have nothing to draw on from their human lives. Of course they're struggling. Farrah
well, if
does.
that's the case, then they should be just as lazy and useless, and they doing a little something something now. So
Like, and that's what they did in the human world, a little something, something. They are staying true to their characters as well. Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
don't know. It just seemed fake. It just seemed just this plot convenience. I'm the woman. I'm the main character, so I do everything right, and I know exactly what to do. I know more than you guys who've been around for 500 years, and I'm only 19. I know how to do everything. It's like if you don't
Everyone,
sit down.
every character, in my opinion, is good at what they do. And I think she's on par with that because before she was Faye, she was good at what she did. They was alive, wasn't they? They was eating, they were warm, they had, stuff going on. So it's like, I don't think this is off brand at all. I think this is very on brand.
Well, Well,
Very, very much. Yes.
at the end of this part of the book,
Mm-hmm.
it's some we get the reveal that Lucian isn't, full blooded son of who he believes was his father, the king or
Child.
the lord of the
Woo!
court.
Yes.
So that was an interesting reveal, and
Yes.
that kind of explains why he's kind of been like treated like the redheaded stepchild because he is a
Yes.
redheaded, half child.
Yes.
So I thought that was an interesting reveal.
Me too.
Um,
And you saw his mother again stayed with Baron, and Baron's a jerk.
yeah.
And how was it her last child was the love child, not the first child? You know what I'm saying? So that was
Hmm.
interesting. Like
Hmm.
she gave that man all them kids and still had a
Hmm.
little something left for her
Yep.
love. Like I was like,
Hmm.
girl, listen, that was wild to me. And the other thing I'm curious about is when does Lucian get hip to this isn't even my father. These are my half brother. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
So he
yeah,
doesn't
that
know.
was yeah. And then does the mother stay with Baron? Is she going to leave? I want to know I would love to
She ain't
see
leaving him.
that.
She been with him all these damn years. She ain't leaving him in.
Well, I mean, maybe he'll die and she can
Oh, she can finally be with the love.
alone. But I thought that was
Yeah.
very interesting.
But yeah, so we'll see what happens in part 3
Yes.
of Court of Wings and Ruin. Join us for that. We'll announce when we do get a chance to do it. But again, we're going straight into that third part.
It's
And
really
thanks for
good.
watching. Talk
Part
to
3
you
is the
later.
part we've been waiting for everyone to
Really?
watch it. Yes, this one. Let's get to the good stuff.
All
Hold
right.
on to the
I'm hoping and praying. We're gonna see
next.
what happens. Bye bye.